Hollywood paranormal detectives have come to Ojai, California. This area, like the Bridgewater Triangle of Massachusetts, is a vortex of the paranormal. There are countless urban legends, UFO sightings, and ghosts. But we are here for one particular spirit. We are here to find the Char Man.
Every year, there's 6,000 sightings of Bigfoots. And not just Bigfoots, but Yetis, skunk apes, and Sasquatch. Every year, there's 12,000 sightings of ghosts. That's people who have died and being seen relation. Every year, there's 80,000 sightings of UFOs. That's unidentified flying objects and extraterrestrial abductions. That's 98,000 sightings of the paranormal. If half are fake and half are misidentification, that's 24,500 unexplained paranormal phenomenon. These are the cases that we are going to investigate. We are the Hollywood Paranormal Detectives.
Ojai is from the Chumash word. It's Ojai is the real pronunciation.
Okay.
And it was the group that lived in the Ojai Valley, and it meant moon. A place closely related to the supernatural. It's always been known for its ghosts and for just weird tales. Ojai is almost like the swirling center, because there's even more just here.
This is Camp Comfort, one of Ojai's most haunted locations. This area has a bloody bride, it has an Indian ghost shaman, a haunted playground, a spectral horsewoman, a headless motorcyclist, and even a key location for searching for the Ojai vampire. And it is also just south of the Char Man Bridge. We are here on Char Man Bridge. This is the location where the urban legend says, if you pull up here at night, get out of your car, and you yell, "Help me, Char Man," he supposedly comes from the forest and kills you. Now the Char Man is not the only spirit that haunts this bridge. There's also a haunted bus that went over the rail, and you can still hear the bus crash at night and hear the children scream. There's also a spectral hand of a child seen walking along the rails, and also ghost children that are seen walking the rails and then plummet down into nothing. And of course, the Char Man. Now I know you're asking, who is the Char Man? There are a lot of different theories. He's a fire elemental cryptoid that was possibly summoned by the shaman spirit of Camp Comfort. He's a burnt firefighter from the fire of 1948. But the biggest story is that a father and son who lived in the forest were horribly burned in the brush fire of 1948. By the time the firefighters got there, the father had passed away, and the son, horribly burned beyond recognition, had gone insane and escaped into the forest. He became the Char Man. There's also theories that a car accident or even plane crash on this very bridge caused the death of a man's wife. The man, becoming horribly burned and overcome with grief, ran into the forest to haunt as the Char Man. Now, is the Char Man a burned hermit? Is the Char Man a local supernatural being? Or is the Char Man a ghost of one of the burned creatures? To get down to the answers, we've arranged an interview with someone that we hold in high regard, Frank William Ryberg, a local who is an expert on all urban legends and paranormal. We're gonna meet up with Frank Ryberg at the Foster Bowl, and he's gonna tell us a childhood story where a camper that he was with saw the Char Man.
So we leave Creek Road, Camp Comfort, and the Char Man Bridge to head to the Foster Bowl and meet up with Frank Ryberg. The Foster Bowl is a massive exterior auditorium built in the 1920s that is now nearly abandoned and in disarray. Frank Ryberg is an expert on almost everything you could think of. Movies, nostalgia, pop culture, the paranormal, traveling, and also urban legends. Frank is also an Ojai local, and at a summer camp as a child, one of his campmates saw the Char Man, which brought Frank and his friends to the Foster Bowl to look for the Char Man himself. So we've asked him to meet us here and tell us his story of looking for the Char Man.
We're here at Foster Bowl here. This was built in 1928 and is part of the Foster Park system. And it was near here, just over this hill here, in 1972, that when I was camping here at the YMCA, that we had our Char Man incident.
Okay.
And it was a day camp, and we came here just on the evening on the weekend.
How old were you then?
I was about 9 or 10.
Okay.
Then. And during the night, that was the first time I'd ever heard the Char Man story. And the version they told us was about a man, and not a spirit, who has been living in the Ojai area and had been burned in the 1948 fire. And then he had been causing trouble ever since.
But it
And-
wasn't the son in this version. It was just the man.
No, it was the son. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
It was still the son of the man. And in this story, and they mostly told us that story to keep us from running around at night. Like, he was terrified on that ledge, and we did. But the next day when we were out, some of us were having breakfast, others were running around. One of the kids came running back into camp, and he was terrified. He was shaking, and he was claiming he had seen Char Man. And at first we're laughing, we're thinking, this is ridiculous, but he would not change his story. And the camp counselors had to take him aside and try to calm him down.
Wow.
At first they were angry, and then they thought, something's wrong. And before they could stop us, we all ran out and were going to see if we could find Char Man. And so we ran all through these hills. I came down this side and was climbing down into Foster Bowl here.
So you came here looking for Char Man.
We came here looking for Char Man.
Excellent.
We had come the night before and we did, the little plays and songs and everything you do at camp. But we never saw any sign of it. But that boy was taken home because he didn't want to be there anymore. So some of the counselors drove him home.
And a kid, if he's confronted by adults, snaps too. He stops telling his story because he's got in trouble. And that kid never snapped too.
He never did, so we never
Wow.
could figure out.
Were you ever able to talk to that kid?
Never again.
Okay.
And I didn't really even know him except for that camp. And it was also the last of the weekend because these day camps would last 1 week, basically. And then it was all new people coming in. Now, ever since that, I've been interested in the Char Man, of course, because it's our local guy. And I never knew anyone else had even heard of the Char Man, actually, till lately. And the earliest stories that I could find were in the early 60s. They were 60 and 61.
Okay.
And those stories were all over between the two roads, and they were Signal Road and Dally Road.
Is that east from here?
That is east and north from here, on that side
Northeast?
of Ojai.
Okay.
And that also was where there were fires. I was able to substantiate there were 2 fires in 1948. One was in June and one was in September.
Okay.
And I think it was the June fire they're talking about because that was more the back country that burned.
Okay.
And there's another road called Shelf Road. It's a dirt road that comes off of Signal Road. And that's where most of the sightings were in those days. And then later on in the mid-60s, you started hearing stories along Creek Road out towards Soul Park, which is over near the 150, which is sort of in that area, but just moving a little bit south. And then in the late 60s, you began to hear stories where everything is taking place near Camp Comfort along Creek Road.
Okay.
The stories, not in the early 60s, but by the mid-60s, they were already talking about that he had skinned his father. When the investigators went up, the firemen or police, they found him burned badly and the father had been skinned. There were no other stories I could ever find about other people being skinned, and no news stories about people that have been skinned, because that's some of the stories
Now,
have been...
when you say him, you mean the son, correct?
I mean the son,
Okay,
I'm
cool.
sorry.
All right, yeah,
Yeah.
The Char Man himself.
Later on, there were stories that it was actually the husband, and it happened near Camp Comfort, but all the original stories were out in the east. And in the late 60s, then you started hearing about people being attacked, and those
Yeah,
things were in
yeah.
the newspaper. One of them I looked into, and somebody came out and admitted it. It was a gag. The one on the bridge where the guy grabbed the jacket, that one was a hoax.
Okay.
But there were a lot of other stories all through the valley, and there was a police officer, one at least, this guy's G, and he claims that he had chased the Char Man, or somebody thought was that, at that time, several times, not just once. So all those stories, and my event happened in 1972. And then there were more stories after that. But it wasn't until maybe the 80s that you start hearing about the other ones, like the man with the gas can, the airplane. They seem to be more like urban legends.
Hey, Frank, let me ask you a question. Do you know what the specific date was the first time someone said Char Man? Like you said, the 1948 fire, but how many years after that?
It was 1960, I believe.
Okay.
And there was no newspaper article of that exact time, but there's a police officer that talked about these teenagers that started talking about off a shelf road about of hearing it. And so they would go up and investigate, and it got to be quite a bit of it.
And the year was?
It was 60.
Okay.
And by 61, the story of the burning and all that had already come. So you never know if those stories were already going or if there were earlier ones, but that's the first one I could find. Right. Yeah, there was also stories about a man who had a terrible skin cancer, had deformed arm and part of his face that had been living out there on Shelf Road. And there were stories, too, of another man who had been badly burned that was living out there. Those, I don't know. I haven't been able to substantiate that, but I think one of the policemen said he had interviewed the cancer victim. It's hard to say. There's so many different stories.
Yeah, legends.
But the Char Man was interesting, is there's a lot of news articles about him over the years, especially in the late 60s.
Sightings.
Yeah, sightings that had been reported, and then police officers that had been sightings and reported. So it's a lot more play than I ever thought when I first heard the story in camp and was sure that it was nonsense. They just made it up on the spot.
Right.
I didn't realize there's a whole history to it at the time.
Yeah, because if you think about the timeline you just mentioned, if the fire was in 48, and then like 60, 61, you started getting the sightings, 12, 13 years, that's plausible to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And even up into the 70s, well, really even to now, except he would be pretty old. Sometime along the way, though, the stories changed to more of a spirit. Well, he could have died by then, and it could be a spirit still haunting the area.
A spirit that's that tormented
and that angry.
Angry.
Because all the stories are of a
Yeah.
very angry person.
Yes.
At least trying to get you to leave the area, if not attack you.
And a lot of the stories say that the son or the car accident victim, kind of the burning or something made him lose their mind and run into the forest.
Always. It's
So
that.
someone that's lost their mind can't cope with the fact that they passed over.
Anybody that's had a little burn can tell you that. And,
Yeah.
and the stories that come out of people that have been burned, the whole body in a fire, they barely make it.
Yeah.
So,
Excruciating.
yeah. Well, why don't I take you now to the campsite? It's only over this bridge right here.
Okay.
So let's
You
go.
have
Let's
time?
go up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So we followed Frank over the river and through the woods to the camp where he first heard the legend of the Char Man.
Well, here's where we were back in 1972. The camp was a lot more kept up back then. The tree was still standing. This is from the Thomas fire, this one.
Wow.
And you could tell that it had been burned earlier, too. It just rotted out. But anyway, we were spread out all over here. There was quite a few of us. And even up the hill, some people were camped all along there and all through here. And that was the night. And that's when they told the story. The guy was standing right there.
Right here.
I forget if he was the one or not, but one of our counselors had been in hair and he'd done a nude scene. They were thinking like, what kind of counselors have we got now?
Wow.
But then they told us the Char Man story and we all just shut up.
Yep.
It was so killer and we were so terrified.
Yeah.
And little do we know that we were going to have an experience about it. So the next day we got up and they were serving breakfast. Some of us were going out. And suddenly from this direction, out of these trees here, the kid came running out. And he'd been one of the ones that had gone out early. And that's where we first saw him. And we were looking, we were kind of laughing at first because he was screaming. Thought he was goofing around like all of us. And then he didn't stop. Then it looked like it was getting serious. And he kept going on that he had seen the Char Man. And then we all got quiet. And the counselors came over to him. At first they were mad, and then they realized, well, something really happened to him. So they took him over up to that area. And we're talking to him, trying to calm him down. And that's when the rest of us, before they said anything, went running over that way to see if we could see the Char Man. and some of us took over, and eventually we worked our way up to that hill and went over there, and that's where the Foster Bowl is. It's that close in this direction.
So you remember, Frank, you actually, when you went up that hill with the rest of the guys that way?
Oh yeah, and some went this way, but I went that way and then climbed down. We had gone there the night before, and there was a trail that led, it's probably this one, and it led up and then would lead to there. It was kept up better.
Yeah.
So we knew the general direction. And when we got back, we tried to talk with them. Counselors really didn't let us go next to him, and then they took him back into Ventura, and his parents picked him up.
Wow.
So and then we
he was
never
traumatized.
Yeah, and it was the last day of the camp, and he didn't sign up for the next week. Well, I didn't either, so I never saw him again.
Wow.
The Char Man urban legend is so popular in Ojai, it has even inspired a local brand to name their hot sauce after him. To try Char Man hot sauce, go to charmanbrand.com.
Man, all this f***ing Char Man is making me hungry.
Wait, guys, I've got tacos.
These tacos are kind of missing something.
I have just the thing. How about some Char Man hot sauce? That's good Char Man.
A little more. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, pass that Char Man.
Oh, look at that. He looks cool. He looks pissed.
Oh, it's so good.
That is good. I mean, it's got flavor. It's not just hot.
Yeah, it's got an afterburn, so be careful.
Yeah, it does, but it's tasty. It's hot. It's real hot.
There it comes.
There it comes.
Said it's a little bit delayed.
Char Man! Char Man!
For December, I was.
Char Man! Char Man! Char Man!
With interviews over and fun being had, nightfall was upon us. It was time to head back to the Char Man Bridge and put the urban legend to its test and see if we can make contact with the Char Man.
This is Frank Ryberg, and I'm heading down to the Char Man Bridge. I'm a little bit scared. I didn't think I would or feel anything, but I think I'm having a little flashback to childhood here. This is creepy.
Help me, Char Man. Help me, Char Man. Help me, Char Man. Help me, Char Man. Are you here? Activating Ovilus. Help me, Char Man. Can you talk to me through this? Pose.
Do you want us to put you out with a fire hose?
Are you here, Char Man? Help me, Char Man. Down. Now, are you not the Char Man? Are you another spirit that's down by the water? Is the Char Man here with me? Is one of the other spirits here? One of the child spirits that's been seen walking along the bridge? Is the spirit that was in the bus that crashed? How about the headless motorcyclist? Are you here?
Were you badly burned? Was a family member badly burned?
Are you the father who died? Or are you the son who was burned?
Is there a female spirit with us?
Is the bloody bride here with us?
So you can talk with us.
Oh, we thought what?
You thought? Char Man, are you here? Talk to us.
Help me, Char Man. Help me, Char Man. Help me, Char Man.
Are you the lady riding the horse? Oh.
Little children. Those children down here. Make yourself known. Talk to us. Make noises. Let us know you're here.
Do you like to walk along the rails if you're a child?
I request all the dead to wake and come out now. There's so many stories of death and pain and unpleasantness. Let yourself be known. We're here.
Char Man, come out.
I just got kind of like after I requested the dead to come out, I just got kind of an unpleasant feeling all of a sudden. I haven't had any unpleasantness all night, all day. All of a sudden it's got kind of a negativity.
So the new batteries I bought are no better than the old batteries.
You talked to us a little on the spirit box. We heard a woman.
Yep.
There's so much death here. I don't know why we're not getting.
Char Man, are you keeping
We've
us
got
away?
multiple devices here. Can you please contact us? Can you touch this device right here that I'm pointing at? Let me know you're here.
I'll show you how it works, children. See the end of this? If I were to touch someone, it goes like that. So any little kids want to walk along the rail like you do and reach out and touch this device?
I have an open invitation to all the dead souls that are here with us. Those who walk on this bridge. Please walk on this device. Touch this little green light here. Touch this device. The children who walk these rails, walk across now. We're up on this bridge and I'm drawn to down there.
Let's try the spirit box one more time. You were talking a little bit. I was trying to give you a chance to let your real voice be heard.
It sounds like you had a conversation going, Steve, with a possible female.
Yeah, I was hearing a woman's voice.
Yeah, and it came through a couple times, the same timbre, the same person.
All right, we've tried once, we're going to try again. Help me, Char Man. Help me, Char Man. Get out. You want me to get out?
Yep.
Ah.
I missed that. Did you get done?
We welcome you guys up here. Please come up here.
Oh, that was a big one. Thank you.
Will you please come up here and talk to us?
What did you say? Did you say when's it? Or is it? Or it's dead? Did you say it's dead?
We'd really like to talk to you if anyone's here with us.
Now Frank here was at a camp on a day someone saw you. Frank knows you're real, Char Man. The boy saw you. Oh. Now he's dead? Is that what you heard? Now he's dead.
Same female voice.
It's the spirit of the Ojai vampire here. So what did you say about the person Frank knew? Get out. Get lost. Are you the Char Man telling us to leave? That's it. You're the Char Man telling us to leave. Leave. Just say it loud and clear. Can I pass this to you now?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Guide. Char Man, if you say leave, or if you say no, or if you say Char Man, we'll leave right now. Are you one of the women spirits from Camp Comfort? The Bloody Bride? Are you the woman whose husband had the accident and you passed away? And maybe, did you say maybe? Are you the woman who died on the bridge?
I thought I heard her say one of them.
Did your husband become the Char Man? Was he burned? Are you the bride? Say yes. Or you can touch this. Are you the woman who died in a car accident here? Say yes. Or touch this. Are you none of those? Were you on the bus? Thank you. You're welcome. The bus. Were you on the bus? Are you a child? Are you a little girl? Oh yeah! Something like that. Are you a disembodied hand that walks along here? Are you the headless motorcyclist? Someone. I'm getting the most reactions from the bus and the possible... Yes. Char Man, did you have a car accident on this bridge? Your wife perished. Burned them. And you were burned?
Apple.
Now I just heard a really gruff voice, like a, it's you. Char Man, is that you? Am I getting both? Am I getting the woman and the husband? Did you both die in the car accident? Is that right? It is? Or if you are one of these spirits and you have a last thing to say, or if you want us to go, or if you're tired of the legend of the Char Man, say go. Say help me. I feel you're the woman who died in the car. Okay, that was me? Did it say that was me? Help me? Another one?
Yeah, I heard it. I definitely think we have a female presence. That's the most I'm hearing on that ghost box.
Responding to us.
Car coming, Frank. Stay down, stay down. Did you hear that? Were you warning Frank to get back from the car? Thank you so much. I think we're talking to a few spirits. Feel like we have a man. Feel like we have a woman. Maybe two different women.
Is my IR light still illuminated?
I love you. Did you hear that? Yeah. I love you. Are you responding to me when I said you have something you have to say? Any last words? Who's the I love you to? Say who the I love you is to. You don't have to say a name. You can say father. You can say wife. You can say son.
Careful, Frank, I hear a car.
Oh, how does... That may have been something in Spanish?
That's what I thought.
Or it was a name?
Are you speaking in Spanish?
Hablo español? De nada? That's thank you, right? Alright. So you're a woman who died on the bridge, possibly involved in a car accident or with the bus crash. Down there.
So when footage is reviewed of my lone session at the end of the bridge, I thought I heard footsteps coming at me from the front and then from the rear. So it's something to look for.
Let's cut the spirit box and let's go replicate it.
Yeah, let me
Are you here? I thought I heard footsteps. Did you die on this bridge? Are you here with us? Is anyone here with us?
Information?
Information.
But it didn't put the end on it.
Information? Would you please talk to me? We got cameras, audio recording, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you bring a digital recorder?
Yes.
Have we used it yet?
Not yet. Compound.
Would you start that baby up and let me do an EVP session?
EVP session.
We're on the Char Man bridge.
Saw.
I heard someone charging at me. Was that you? You have a very bad reputation for being violent. Do you want to hurt me? Do you want to push me or shove me or tear my skin off? Were you badly burned? Did you lose someone you loved and were badly burned? Did that drive you mad?
I heard someone charging at me. Was that you?
I didn't hear anything there.
That isn't good. Can you fire up the spirit box again, or has that been put away?
All right. Come to me, babe. Wow, that was a long sentence.
ask some questions.
Yeah.
Okay. This is to the children. Did you die here? The dead children. Did it hurt? Were you scared? Tell us. Was it horrible? Did you tell
Metal.
Metal. Did you tell us to climb down earlier? You said climb. Did you want us to climb down and play? And see you? see you?
I think he said I am a female or I see you.
Yeah.
I almost heard I'm a female. I feel like we are talking to the female bus driver.
Yeah.
She reacts to the bus and she
the children?
reacts to the children.
Yeah.
And I feel like, are you the female bus driver of the legendary bus crash?
So we're a female bus driver. It's you. Are you here? Talk to us some more. How do you feel? What happened?
Oh, I swear I was on the bridge. Was that you screaming? I got complete pins and needles in my body right now.
Talk less, let's listen more.
Projection. It's got another big sentence there.
I just saw something float past Steve behind him, so keep an eye out for review.
Are you behind me?
You guys just hear that scream? Was that from the camp?
I didn't hear it.
If you were the bus driver, were you at fault in the accident?
That's a nice trigger.
Was the bus accident your fault?
Demon.
Did you kill all those children?
Can you scream? We'll go through it again. Yes. Country.
The woman bus driver. Let us hear you one last time.
Are we wrong with the bus driver? Just say wrong, or just say no, or just say ah. Oh, what a huge reaction!
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
So you're not the bus driver,
Yeah,
but you are a woman spirit.
That was on target.
Thank you so much for that immediate reaction. Are you the bride? You bet. Do you know it? Oh.
Wow.
So you're the bride here?
We got several spirits
Can you come
going
touch
here.
me? You're so close. Do I look like a groom? Wearing my suit?
Were you the mist behind us a minute ago that we saw?
Can you sing for me again? Ah, just like that. Are you tired of people looking for the Char Man? That was such a great reaction.
On cue.
Can you talk to us some more, please?
No!
Do you want us to leave?
To leave you alone?
My bride that talked to me, you know it. Are you the bride? You bet something? No voice. So you're the bride. And you're here on the bridge. Do you live in the camp? All right, bride, we're going to have to leave soon. Is there anything you want to hear us say to you? Rabbit.
Can you give us your name before we go? We hear your name?
Thank you. Before we go, greater than anything, can you reach out as a sign of love, as a sign of connection with us? Can you touch this? Touch this with your hand. No one's ever been able to do it. Can you do it?
We think you can.
Or just say no. Someone's here.
That was a male voice.
How many spirits are there here with us right now? Let's just keep going on our walk back.
It's our last chance. Thank you, Char Man. Thank you. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you, bride. Thank you, my bride.
I don't think the children made it. I don't think the children made it.
Thank everyone.
Thank
who
you.
tried to talk to us. You did talk to us.
Yeah. You had multiple spirits there.
Thank you, children. All right, Charman Bridge. Goodbye. As I always say, I'd say success, gentlemen.
We tested the urban legend of the Char Man Bridge, and we were not disappointed. We made contact with multiple spirits and gathered an abundance of evidence. So now it was time to head back to the Foster Bowl, a place to our knowledge has never been investigated. This is where our friend Frank Ryberg came looking for the Char Man after the incident at summer camp. We wanted to bring Frank here and see if he could finally find the Char Man.
Are you trying to tell us something, Char Man? I heard something. The moon's up. Let's go in.
Oh, what was that?
It's really active.
He came looking for you here, Charman. Years ago, after he frightened a little boy. Now, is that when you were still alive? It is.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Do you recognize me, Charman?
Was he close to finding you? Back then?
Do you have anything else to say? Are you watching us now, Charman?
You got it.
All right, I'm out of here.
What's wrong? You feeling it, Frank? All
I'm
right.
out of here.
Watch your steps, Frank.
Careful, sir. What were you feeling? You just slow down. You felt like you weren't alone?
Yes.
With the Char Man's reaction to Frank and Frank's reaction to the Char Man, we had to go right back into the Foster Bowl.
Yeah, Frank was kind of... He was getting a weird vibe up there. He was saying, remember me, Charman?
Nice.
I came here as a child.
Okay.
Now you just spooked my friend. You spooked Big Frank, who came here as a kid. Who came here looking for you. I have absolute chills, man. How about you?
I feel something, but I'm holding my mud.
Yeah. He came here as a kid looking for you. Because you scared another kid.
Whoa. There, that was a
big answer.
Yeah. We got something over here, Steve. There's something.
I can go.
Yeah, something over here. I just gotta chill.
I gotta chill.
Yeah.
Now, are you the Char Man?
Charman, make it. Wow. This whole thing shook.
Really?
Yeah, it shook.
I want to scan with light just to be safe. Go home. Did you just say go home?
Did we go in there?
We can't.
Okay.
That's close. Sounds like it.
Are you a little freaked out?
I'm a little freaked out. Like, I don't think you saw Frank run. Things in here. What's your name?
You just hear that?
Like a growl?
Yeah, like a.
Are you a spirit? Wow. We're getting absolute answers. Ask some questions, bro.
Who's here? Say your name. Say your name.
Did you scare Big Frank?
Can you scare us? That was something. Almost sassy, like
Yeah.
trolling us. You trolling? Are you trolling us? Yeah. All I know is, Steve, I got energy, negativity coming at us over here.
Yeah.
Over here, there's
Go on.
there's negativity coming at us from in there.
Are you in there?
Tell us your name.
Can you show yourself on camera? Because I am?
Because you are what?
Say Char Man right now.
You afraid that I'm here with Steve? I don't scare so easy.
You scared the big man.
But he's a newcomer, Steve. He's easy to scare.
Go on inside. So you want us in there, huh?
I think so. We got negativity in here, Steve.
Check for bugs and stuff, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I knew it. I knew it, Steve. Oh, yeah. Unpleasantness in here. Oh, yeah. Not good. I knew there was like unpleasantness in here. Okay, so you told us to come here, so we're here. We're here.
Get. We can't stay long.
We have to go. We came down here. We're waiting for you to let us know that.
Shows you.
We come down here, Steve, and then they're quiet.
Easy. A lot of talking
I
and the
get a
same
lot of-
voice.
Like murmurs, but I've never heard this thing pop like that and shake in my hand.
Yeah.
On that real big one. I'm glad we have it on camera. Oh, almost thought a light was on, Steve.
Yeah.
That's cool. Look at that. Reflects. Yeah, there's all kinds of unpleasantness inside this building.
Yeah.
I wish we could go in and, do a proper investigation.
We came to Ojai, California, a place that's been tormented by fire its whole life, and has been tormented by the legend of the Char Man. We found more spirits than we could have imagined.
I thought I heard footsteps coming at me from the front.
We took a man to a place where as a child he hunted the Char Man, and we came face to face with him ourselves.
Char Man, make it. Wow. This whole thing shook.
This town, scarred by fire and the legend of the Char Man, gave us some answers. Or just say no, or just say ah. Oh! And hopefully we supplied that kid from camp the answer he was looking for.
Are you watching us now, Char Man?
You got it.
All right, I'm out of here.
What's wrong? To help support Frank, check out his podcast, Strange, Interesting, and Slightly Gamey, a broad spectrum podcast that focuses on the strange and unusual. Char Man says support the hot sauce that bears his name. Get your Char Man hot sauce at charmanbrand.com. Thank you for watching Episode 4 of Hollywood Paranormal Detectives. We have a lot of huge investigations coming up in 2018, including the USS Hornet, the Pasadena Playhouse, and even the Goldfield Hotel. Follow us on all social media and email us with any questions you have. And as always, please like, follow, share, spread the word about the show, and help us keep growing. Thank you. Okay. Bernardino.